Alright, welcome back. Now in this tutorial I'll be showing you how you can validate your form using JavaScript. Alright, okay, it is important to validate form submitted by the user because it can have inappropriate value. So validation is a must to authenticate the user. Alright, I know most people now will be wondering that validation that the form validation is supposed to be the work of a back-end developer. Yes, it is a work of back-end developer, and as a front-end developer you can use the JavaScript to validate your form. Okay, so and that is what I will be showing you now. So through this JavaScript we can validate the name, the password, the email, the date, mobile number, and more field. All right, so okay, JavaScript provides the facility to validate the form on the client side so that the processing will be faster than the server side validation. Now you see the reason why a front-end developer uses JavaScript to validate form, because most web developers they prefer using JavaScript form validation, right? Because it is more faster than this, but than using the server side validation. All right. So, in the example that we are going to do on the text editor, we are going to validate the name and password, and the name cannot be empty and the password cannot be less than 6 characters long. Okay, that is what we are going to do. The name field cannot be empty and the password cannot be 6 characters cannot be less than 6 characters long. Okay, so this is it. So let's go to our text editor. So I'll just call this form.html. all right, let me copy this, get all this one, come to the form.html, and you paste. And you delete all of this. All right, so now let's create our form. Okay, let's create our form, and let's give this guy here, this form here, let's give it a name. Give it a name to be my form. All right, give it a name, and the method post. All right, action, you have abc.jsp. on submit we return valid, right? Okay, now let me explain this. For the form we have the name called my form, right? And we have the method post. Now for a form we have two methods, right? We have two methods. We have post and we have okay, here now we are going to use post. We have two methods in a form. We have post and we have get. You understand? So posting, once you use the method post, you cannot get the information of on the form, the information you want. Okay, take for example now you created a form for you created a registration form, right? And you want to use a get method. If you use a get method, you will notice that after clicking submit, you will notice that every information that was filled in the form is displayed on the search bar of your browser. You understand? Because you're using get to get a particular to get data from you are using get to get data from a form, right? And you're using post to post data into a form, all right, into the server to send. Like you're using form to form data are included in the body for the form and sent to the server. You understand? And to get is you get the get method is used to get data from the form, all right? So that is the reason why we're using post here. And the action, this action means where exactly do you want this action to take place, where exactly do you want this process to go. You understand? So that is what the action means. And on submit, once you submit it, it should return if the form is valid or not. So it should just return valid. Okay, so and validate, sorry, I did not complete that. Return validate form. Okay, all right. So the next thing we are going to do now, we'll call this name. Okay, and we give it an input. Give it an input to be text, and the name should be name. All right. So we'll put a line break. Okay. So the next one now, we have a password. Input to be, the type should be password. The type should be, and the name should be password. All right. So put a line break. Then we have the input to be submit. And name to be that should be value. Value to be register. Okay. So, and that is all for the form. Now for our script. We give it a type of text. JavaScript. So make a function of validate. Form. Give the function of validate form. Okay. Now we have var to be name. Okay, name you have document dot my form. document.myform.name dot document.myform.name dot value. All right, so the next one, we have var password document dot myform dot password dot value, document dot myform dot password dot value. All right, so now we now have if name equal to null, if name equal to null, right, and name equal to then alert or name is name is empty. If name equal to null or name is empty, then it should bring the alert message that name can't be blank. All right, then we return false. Okay, else if password length dot length is less than 6. Okay, if password dot length is less than 6, what should it do? It should bring an alert message saying password must be at least 6 characters long. Okay, then return false. All right, so let's see how this works. Okay, say we have say I just put 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, then I say register. It will bring out an error, name can't be blank. So I'll have to fill in the name. Say I put this name, and maybe my password is less than 6. My password is less than 6. And say password must be at least 6 characters long. So now you get it. Now you get the validation point, right? So after that, the next thing we are going to do, we have the retype password validation, right? I know many of you must have seen something like this online, right? Especially if you want to register for a particular thing. After putting your name, your email address, your password, then you now be asked to retype the password. Now for you to retype the password, now there is a JavaScript for it to validate, to know if the password you provide at the first password field is the same thing you are providing providing at the retype password field. All right, so with that is what let's do that now. So okay, all right, so let's do that on the next tutorial. All right, so see you in the next tutorial.